Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel for a new military video. Today dedicated to the M1 Abrams, one of the most famous and iconic main battle tanks in the world, from United States of America, and its latest development, the Abrams X, introduced a few weeks ago. In this video I want to analyze with you the specifications of the M1 Abrams we have in this moment in active service with its newest variant, the Abrams X, that will be introduced in the next years. The first difference we can find is about the crew members. We have a crew of 4 in the standard Abrams and a crew of 3 in the newer variant. For the M1 Abrams we can find a commander, a gunner, a loader and a driver. In the Abrams X we have a commander, a gunner, a driver, and we miss the loader, thanks to the new autoloader system that will be better analyzed in the next section. Of course, we have the same manufacturer, General Dynamics, while for the modern Abrams we can see it was designed in 1979 with the introduction in 1980. It has a cost of $8.2 million, with the latest upgrade of this variant, the SEP V4, that will be introduced in 2023. What about the Abrams X? It was designed this year in 2022 and shown just a few weeks ago, with the introduction expected to be around 2035. Of course, we don't have info about the overall cost or a latest upgrade neither, because it's really new. Now let's compare the performance of the two machines and what they changed in the newer variant. For the standard Abrams we can find a weight of 62 tons, a speed of 67 km per hour and 40 km per hour off-road, a range of 450 km and a power weight ratio of 20 HP on tons. For the Abrams X we can already notice that the weight is lower on the newer variant, also thanks to a lower protection in the turret, because as we said before, now we have an autoloader, we don't have the crew inside it, so we do not need the same kind of protection we needed before. We don't have exact info about the maximum speed, but we know should be more than 60 km per hour on road and 40 km per hour off-road, and an improved range of 500 km. A very interesting section to analyze is about the engine. For the standard Abrams we can find a turbine engine with a power of 1500 HP. This is the only main battle tank in the world adopting a turbine engine instead of the standard diesel engine that you can find in trucks or cars. The turbine engine is something that usually you can find on helicopters, aircraft. On main battle tanks this is the only one. As you may imagine, this is a really powerful engine, but we have some problems with it. And the main one is the fuel consumption, probably one of the weakest points of the M1 Abrams. What about the newer Abrams X? In this case we don't know about the HP, but what we do know is the new engine is a diesel-electric engine. Not only the turbine engine is not present anymore, and it means less fuel consumption, but we also have an electric engine alongside it. The electric engine can be adopted for two main purposes. The first one is to lower the fuel consumption of the diesel engine even more, and this means an even higher range. But the tank can also move on electric engine alone, without using the diesel one. This will make the tank very silent and stealthy, of course not for long distances, but if you think about something like a urban scenario, this is very interesting to have a main battle tank, something that is really huge, really heavy, being silent. In the next category we will analyze the protections of these two machines. Of course the main chassis is still more or less the same, so on both of them we can find the depleted uranium armor, a graphite coating and the explosive reactive armor, or ERA. While one of the differences we can find here is a turret counter IED armor for the M1 Abrams adopted in this moment, and a totally unmanned main turret for the new Abrams X. As I told you in the previous section, the new turret is not manned anymore. We don't have the loader inside, it's separated from the rest of the chassis, and in this case we do not need the same kind of armor anymore, making the whole tank lighter and also more protected. Yes, even if we have less armor on it, the crew is safer inside the chassis than in the turret. For the next layer of protections, we can find the active protection. For the standard M1 Abrams adopted now, we have the Crew Duke V3 counter IED and the missile counter measures. For the new Abrams X, we have the kinda same Crew Duke, but in the new V4 variant of it, and the Trophy APS active protection system, one of the most advanced active protection system available right now. At the end, both of them have NBC protections. NBC stands for nuclear, biological, chemical protections, and smoke chaff grenade launchers. We have 12 of them for the standard Abrams active now, and we don't know how many of them will be present on the newer variant, probably the same number. Now let's move to the next category, the main weapon. For the M1 Abrams adopted in this moment, we can find a Rheinmetall L44 smoothbore 120mm gun, while for the new Abrams X we will have a newer smoothbore gun, still 120mm L48. Even if both of the guns are 120mm smoothbore, they are quite different. In the first case we have no ATGM capability. ATGM stands for anti-tank guided missiles. We do not have an autoloader and the rate of fire is 8-10 rounds per minute. What about the new Abrams X? We do have ATGM capability, so this gun can fire anti-tank guided missiles. We have an autoloader. In this case, as we said in the first category, we do not have the loader anymore, and this also means you have less lives on risk during a fight, and a rate of fire higher than 10 rounds per minute. Another interesting fact about it, while the human loader can get tired during a fight, is subjected to, other kind of conditions like stress, it can be injured. The autoloader, it doesn't. You have always the same rate of fire during the whole battle. In my opinion, it's still safer than having a living human inside the turret. What about the shells? Both of them have more than 40 rounds on board. Of course, one are loaded manually and for the other one we have the autoloader, but we already analyzed this section. Both of them have APF SDS that are armor piercing rounds specifically designed to pierce the enemy armor. Then we can find a 5th generation kinetic energy rounds for the M1 Abrams, obstacle reduction rounds, anti-personnel rounds, and heat rounds, high explosive anti-tank rounds. While for the new Abrams X we still have the high explosive anti-tank rounds, but we can also find AKE rounds, advanced kinetic energy rounds, AMP rounds, advanced multipurpose rounds, and MRM, mid-range munitions. These are multipurpose munitions that can be adopted as anti-personnel, obstacle reduction, just like the one adopted on the M1 Abrams in use now. Finally, to end this category, we have the fire ranges. We have the same engage range for both of them, around 6,000 meters, but an higher tracking range for the newer Abrams of 10,000 meters compared to the previous 8,000 meters of the standard M1 Abrams. In this last category we will analyze the secondary weapons and electronics. For the M1 Abrams we can find a 7.62mm coaxial gun, a 7.62mm turret, and a 12.7mm remote gun in a turret. What about the newer Abrams? We have the same 7.62mm coaxial gun, a 30mm remote gun turret, so we have a more powerful turret, and a Switchblade 300 loitering munition system. If you don't know what loitering munition systems are, you can think about them like drones. You can control them from the inside of the tank and use them for different purposes. You can scout the enemy like any other drone, but also kamikaze on them like a missile. It's a very interesting secondary weapon. For the M1 Abrams fire ranges, we can find 1,200 meters for the coaxial gun, 1,200 meters for the turret, and 1,500 meters for the remote gun. In the new Abrams X we can find 1,200 meters for the coaxial gun, it's the same one, 2,000 meters for the 30mm remote gun in the turret, that is more powerful, and 70 kilometers for the loitering munition system. As I told you before, you have to think about it like a drone, so you can fly it very far from you, spot the enemy, and also kamikaze on them. For the M1 Abrams electronics we can find a 3rd generation generation FLIR, thermal optics, laser rangefinder, DVE and TIES, a Tracker 2 SATCOM network, joint battle command platform and a tactical radio system. While in the newer Abrams X we have a 4th generation FLIR, thermal optics, laser rangefinder, DVE and TIES, Tracker 2 SATCOM network, joint battle command platform and AI object detection recognition. This last one also is really interesting, using AI to detect and recognize the enemy. We all know how much the AI improved in the last years, but adopting it inside a weapon like a main battle tank, I don't know, it's mind-blowing for me. I can only hope this is not the beginning of the Skynet creation. And also this video finish here. As you may have noticed, lately I am into tanks. If you liked the video, remember to leave a thumbs up. I remind you that in the right top corner or caption the video you can find more videos like this one, so if you want to check also the others, maybe you can find something interesting for you. And remember to check also my other kind of videos like my Lego creations. If you don't know me, I build military designs in Lego bricks, and you can also find many tanks like the M1A Abrams. So if you are interested, check them as well, again in the right top corner or caption the video. And that's it. See you again next week in a new video. Bye!